I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
I feel the need for speed. Ow! So together we're the Three Amigos.
Right here, son.
Batman, what happened? Are you okay?
He's slimy. Is it getting hot in here? Is it just me?
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Hey,
Hey,
good
howdy.
evening. How are you
Good evening
two?
to you two.
It's been forever since I've talked to both of you.
I know.
Yes.
Welcome to After the Weekend. We are here tonight, and we're gonna do a really interesting review. But how are you, R2, my co-host?
I'm well. I'm R2, the co-host, and I don't know. We've just been busy. Life has gotten in the way.
Too busy to talk to your friend.
Yep, I was too busy to
And
talk
Beard,
to my
and Beard,
friend.
he showed up at my house to watch the eclipse, and literally crickets.
Yeah, you know, when you just show up at somebody's house randomly, usually the first question is, how the hell did you find me?
And then and my wife was like, she went to our cabinet, and she was like,
Why is the rum gone?
Oh, so that's why my photos came out blurry. I thought the autofocus was off.
"What happened?" No, it's good to see you both. I know we've all been kind of
That, and aren't
doing
you
other
missing a
things.
baby chicken?
No. No. But we had fun looking at the eclipse. That was really awesome.
Yes, and I
And
gotta say, when I met your wife, and like she said, came up to shake my hand. She said, "Sorry, I just washed my hands. I got chicken all over them." I thought I can see the kitchen over there. I don't know what she's doing, like messing with raw chicken in there. Nope, it was just live chickens.
live chickens. Yes.
That's what everybody keeps in their sewing room.
Yeah, they're getting big now, so they're gonna have their own little coop out in the backyard. But anyways, thanks for everyone for showing up. Make sure you hit that like. Tonight we are going to review a retro movie that isn't really retro, right?
No, it's not retro at all, but it's retro in spirit. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we were trying to pick a movie. We really don't have a theme for April because April's been chaotic. So we wanted to do Ready Player One tonight, and we think it's going to be fun. So first, before I ask, we always ask this: was this a first watch for anyone on the stream?
Oh no, I saw it at the theater.
Yeah, me too.
It might as well have been. I feel like I've watched it, but it felt like like half of it I didn't remember. So maybe I just watched somebody do a YouTube video on it. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm excited to review it. I've seen it multiple times. I've read the book. It was always when I first read the book before I even knew they were going to make a movie, and I've always enjoyed it. So before we get kicked off here, Really Old Movies says, "Sup, everyone."
Howdy.
He had fun. He was in Vegas over the weekend. He got to hang out with the cool guys. So that's awesome.
You had to hang out with me.
I know. I did. I enjoyed your time at my house. It was great. And then we have Aaron here saying, "Hey, I made it."
Thanks
That's
for coming.
great to see you. And then the Mrs. R2.
Hello.
She says hello. And I got Mrs. Sassy here. She was also in Vegas having fun. And we got Jacob Ironside. Is he fighting raccoons, or is he doing okay?
The battle against the raccoons never truly ends. There's only moments of vague peace.
Okay. All right. Well, Hopefully you can take care of those raccoons.
I was gonna say Jacob made the mistake of feeding them. That's what happened.
He fed them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not really. It doesn't really count as feeding them if you throw your neighbor to them so that you can get away.
Ah, raccoons are vicious. I've seen them do really crazy things.
I had a mama raccoon puff up against me like she wanted to eat my face, and it's scary.
Wait, you had a what?
The mama raccoon. Working security, I saw babies in the tree, and I thought, that's weird. Where's mom? And I got the flashlight, and I'm shining it through the dark.
Was she related to the ape lady?
No. This was
Only the dead have seen the end of the raccoon war. Okay.
That's right. That's metal.
Remember the scene where Mike TV was on TV with a bathtub of girls' feet? Mike TV, isn't that guy from Wonka?
Yeah.
I don't remember the bathtub of girls' feet though. What
Don't-
version of Willy Wonka did you watch?
Maybe it was an Easter egg in this movie, Ready Player One, because this movie's
Oh, maybe.
full.
It
of
is.
Easter
I
eggs.
think there's too many to count.
There's so many Easter eggs in this movie that you can watch it multiple
the
times.
Easter eggs even have Easter eggs.
Yeah, there and if you like watching movies for Easter eggs, this is like your movie, right? Because you can watch it, pause it, rotate it, and rewind, whatever you want to do, and you'll probably never find all of them. The Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Okay.
Is that the new one that just came out?
Well, we're talking about Ready Player. Okay, whatever.
No,
Good to
I'm
see you.
just
Matthew.
I'm asking Matthew. Just
Speaking of a
and,
raccoon, Ryan's here.
hey, what's up?
Howdy, Ryan.
And then Aaron says we had a family of raccoons that lived in our loading dock when I was going to culinary school. Yeah, they like to stick around with the food. 2005 movie, Matthew says.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, don't remember that at all. Yeah, no, you could, I think, spend hours upon hours analyzing this film, and
there's even an Easter egg in this picture here.
There is. We'll see if anybody catches that.
Yeah, there's actually quite a couple of them, but
yeah,
Ready Player One is it's to kind of briefly describe it. It's a dystopian movie. The world's basically turned to crap, and everyone wants to.
There were the corn syrup shortage, or
yeah, and there was everyone lived in these like stacked towers of RVs, mobile homes.
Trying to say this is foreshadowing things to come.
Oh yes,
yes,
and it takes place in 2044, so it's about 20 years from now.
Yeah, got 20 years to go. Okay, well hey, enjoy that corn syrup while you can, Beard. Okay.
But Ready Player One was based off a book, right?
Yes.
Which was
Ernest Cline.
Ernest Cline, which is a good book, really good book. And you have the information here of the rest of the movie.
Yes. Ernest Cline sold the rights to this before the book was even published. It was kind of that hot of a thing in the entertainment industry, and sold it to Warner Brothers. But it was directed by Steven Spielberg, who I think was very fitting for this. I mean, this was definitely an icon of 80s entertainment, and made a lot of things.
He also has a lot of Easter eggs in this movie.
Yeah, he actually, from what I know, now I've never read the book. I know you have. There's a lot more references to Spielberg stuff in the book. He actually very much minimized it in the film.
Yes. Well, it's 80s Spielberg when they reference it.
But still, he very much tried to, I think, limit a fair amount. There is some 90s. We see the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. But it was written by Zach Penn and Ernest Cline, as well as produced by Ernest Cline and Steven Spielberg. And as I said, it was released by Warner Brothers.
Yeah. It's a movie based on a kid or a whole generation of people that really just live in this virtual world, because the real world reality is kind of crap.
People that have never touched grass.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And they don't really explain about what happens to the whole world or US. They just know it's kind of a dystopian type of future where it's not really a
yeah, I
happy
mean,
place.
it kind of seems like the economy went to crap, and instead of facing that, everybody just escaped to this virtual world.
In the book, everyone, there was like this, and they kind of hint at it in the movie, but in the book, there was a lot of nuclear war. So a lot of the US is a wasteland, and everyone's just done with trying to fix everything. And they just want to be. They just want to like do what they want to do in this virtual world, because this guy invents this thing. We'll get in that here in a second. This virtual reality gets invented, and everyone latches onto it because it's so real in that world, and you can do whatever you want, and you can just ignore fixing reality, so you don't even care about it. Everyone's just done fixing everyone else. That's pretty much what the book is.
Did they think that the nuclear war part would be too dark? Because that makes this a lot more believable than just like, man, we ran out of corn syrup and stuff got expensive.
Yeah. And we're gonna go over it at the end. We're gonna highlight some things in the book, but basically the future, he kind of mentions it in the movie, but all major cities have pretty much been wiped out. And actually in the book, this actually takes place in Oklahoma, not Columbus. He only goes to Columbus when he has to go after IOI, the bad guys. But yeah, it's basically middle of America is okay, but everything on the outer rim is like the eastern seaboard and the west coast and everything is just obliterated.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the main character Wade or Percival, he's a super fan of the 1980s. So unlike in this game, he's kind of mixed on both the 80s and the 90s, or this movie. So
yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, like throughout the film, I mean, it kind of seems to be a mixture of that, at least with the
yeah, and basically the separation of, there's no middle class either. It's literally rich and poor.
Yeah,
they do show this in the movie, and they do talk about in the book, but this is across the world. It's like this. So it's not just the US.
Well, when I was looking into this and finding stuff for the slides, I found the character posters here. I thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah,
you see the characters and their avatars in the background. I think there was one other one for I can't think of his name right now. Simon Pegg's character. I think they did a poster for him, but I couldn't find it grouped together. So
that's okay. The other cool thing, the cool thing about this movie is they do show that when you step into this world, you have an avatar like you do on X, right, or YouTube right now. You can be that person, and you can change your outfits, you can change your face, you can be whoever you want to be. And everyone has like this VR headset device that they tap into the OASIS, and some people have way better gear than others.
Boy, do some of those headsets look a lot like the new Apple one.
They do, don't they? Yeah, this is another. This is, you could put this movie, just like Demolition Man, Terminator,
Idiocracy.
Anything that predicts the future, they're already kind of getting some of this correct.
It's slightly scary.
People spend majority of their day in this world called the OASIS. The only thing that's different, one thing that's different in the book is that it's really interesting is they actually go to school in the OASIS, and here they don't. In this movie, they just go to school, and they're not in the OASIS, but they actually go to school.
Wow,
in
they predicted
the OASIS.
Virtual remote learning.
Yes, you're completely tapped into this thing. You never really bounce out unless you have to like eat and
it's the only place you can get a good meal, as we find out.
I did throw a poll in our chat. I did ask that who or what avatar would be who. I think I worded this wrong now that I'm reading it. I wrote it so fast. who or what would your avatar be in the Oasis? Share it in the live chat. And I just said an existing character, your own unique creation, or just VR is lame. But if they're, if you were an existing character, I would, say put it in the chat who would you want to be? What about you guys? If you were,
you could kind of guess mine.
Yep.
I would make my own avatar, but if I was going to choose, existing character, I'd probably go with Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop.
There you go. But Artemis, he created his own person.
Yeah, Artemis is his own.
Or she created her own. Percival created his own. So did Ack. He did his own, but
H,
yeah. But you can literally be like the guy with 4 arms from Mortal Kombat and have fun.
Yeah.
But if we were gonna pick an existing character, I'm pretty sure you would all know that I would probably pick Captain America, or I would be Beard of Liberty. That's also who I would be.
I was gonna say Sorrento looks like evil Superman to me.
Yeah. And that's funny because he's like that's who he thinks he is. He thinks he's this.
Howdy, Dev.
Well, that's the thing. You would not be actually in this new world. You wouldn't be. It'd be kind of cool to be like a ninja or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun, but
yeah.
But it was neat to see the scene where they showed everyone's different avatars. Like you can be a Ninja Turtle, or you can be, James Bond or Gandalf or whatever.
That's one thing that was missing from this film. Granted, it was by a competing studio, so they couldn't do it. But I was going to say no Marvel characters. I was bummed by that.
Yeah, they do more of that kind of stuff in the book.
That's what I've heard.
He cross references more IPs in the book.
What I would have liked to see in this is when you were saying you could be a Ninja Turtle, and you see like the modern, a couple of scenes, you see the modern 3D CG renditions of like Raphael and Donatello. I would have loved to see all these like hyper realistic avatars running around on the battlefield, and like a old 2D cartoon Ninja Turtles running among because that's the era proper Ninja Turtle for the theme they're going for.
You could probably this movie kind of also reminds me of Fortnite. If you've ever played Fortnite, everyone gets a pick.
Yeah,
you purchase your clothes or whatever, and you that's what you do in Fortnite, and you're just like this random pumpkin head with guns, and it's similar to this. It's similar to this. VR scares me. My nephews who are 10 to 12 spend hours on it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in this game or this movie, the Oasis, people spend their entire lives mostly on it. Like I said, they only come out to sleep or eat most of the time. But yeah, some even just that's where they make their money to live is through here, which is pretty crazy. Now you have some other posters to show.
Yeah, we do.
And this is more of like the group posters, but I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, the one on the far left, I think was one of the main ones after there was the teaser poster, and I even think the one in the middle was theatrical, but the far right was fan art, but I really liked that one too. I always love seeing fan art. Sometimes they do a better job of kind of capturing the film.
The one on the left, that style, I don't remember his name, but that has to be the same guy that did like the 20th anniversary Star Wars posters. He did a lot of work with Spielberg and Lucas, but I don't remember his name. But he's got a very definitive art style.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Indiana Jones. Other than just it's not orange. It's now that purple that you see with every movie poster.
Ignore the purple in our background.
It does. Yeah. It does. They show some of the key things in this movie, like on each poster, which is great because it's the high five.
Thanks, really.
And that's the 5 main characters that we just talked about. The 5 main players, and the reason why they're called the high 5 because they're the first 5 to be in this leaderboard that tracks, which we'll get here later, like who's found these magical Easter egg keys in the movie that let them go further on in the game. So, yeah, and we'll get into that plot here in a second. I just like to see some of these posters. Now, there is a poster out there that if you haven't watched my show before, my previous Late Night with Caps, we would talk about bad graphic design. And this one always came up. And everyone asked me, why don't you ever pick it? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Now, what do you see? Why would you think this would be a bad designed poster?
I don't really know. I mean, it doesn't really convey much about what the movie is.
It's not obvious. You really kind of look at it.
Oh, is this going to be a Rescuers Down Under thing where one of the windows is like a porno mag?
No.
Yes, the giant egg in the background is a booby.
No. It looks like his leg is really long.
I get. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Does it? Because
Like,
it could
no.
also be I'm losing my train of thought. What am I thinking of?
It looks
Optical
like
illusion.
It very much looks like his leg is like a stick too. It just looks like abnormally straight.
Yeah, it does look like his shin is a little extra long. That might be a trick of the perspective because you're kind of that building's tilting and it's kind of like we're looking up a little bit at it. So they might have just had difficulty with the perspective there.
We're gonna debunk it here live on After the Weekend. So here is the skeleton of the kid. So apparently his knee's just really high, but if you were to stretch his leg out, it works pretty good.
All right.
No body shaming, Beard.
Here, go get a ladder and prove this theory for us.
No.
So Archie, why don't you kind of break down the kind of like the core plot of this movie? Why are these kids all just running around the Oasis?
Well, I mean, for the first part, I mean, this is what you do. I mean, if you have friends, this is how you connect with your friends. Nobody goes outside. I mean, this is how you keep yourself busy in your free time, and even for some people, all the time. And it's also to explain that the Oasis is limitless. You can pretty much go anywhere, do anything. You can, if you like sports, you can go to a sports planet. If you want to gamble, you can go to a gambling planet. If you, want to fight to the death, there's a planet Doom.
Yeah,
and,
or if you want to be on the Titanic.
All right.
You can be on the Titanic.
Let me tell you, Artie, you will be missed when she decides that it's not worth even trying to save you.
Yeah. So in that version of the Titanic, I'm so big and fat, she just uses me.
She floats on you. Okay.
As a flotation device. So, but another kind of fascinating thing with this for everybody is the creator of the Oasis, a guy named James Halliday, who created this world. And he had died from where we are in this film 5 years prior. And, it's kind of like an equivalent of, it's like Walt Disney dying, in a way. Would kind of be a good way to kind of look at it in terms of kind of how beloved he was. And when he died, though, he was somebody who, to the view of the regular person, he had everything. And to this man, though, he had nothing. He died alone. And so he hid 3 keys, and with essentially were hidden with clues via Easter eggs, as he said it. And whoever was the first to collect all 3 of these keys, they would run it. And yeah, it's like Willy Wonka too, in the virtual factory. Exactly. That is a
Well said.
excellent way to describe it too. The kind of the test that everybody does, and what the prize is. You take over the company, you get his fortune, and you will run the OASIS as well. So for the past 5 years, everybody has been trying to at least they know where there is one of the keys, and trying to crack it and can't. For 5 years, nobody can do it.
Yeah, and the story is pretty much the same in the book. However, no one knows where the keys are, where the first one is, and you have to do something to obtain it. But it's the same premise. They go through all these like trials of games or some type of thing that involves a video game.
What's really funny is you get an introduction of James Halliday's avatar explaining the contest, and he actually does give away where the location of one of the keys are in his explanation.
Yeah, he does. So yeah, it is kind of like Willy Wonka. I mean, it's the same kind of story. But like I said in the movie, so like in this scene here is like the first time they go after the first key. It's this race that everyone can't beat.
What's funny too, I also just want to say this film has so many lens flares in it, but nobody ever complains about it.
It's because they're not J.J. Abrams.
I know. I think that's funny. But
well, I mean, I guess it's a little bit. You can get away with it more because this is a virtual world that's supposed to be super stylized and over the top. I guess if I'm being
I think you're exactly right.
Are you a lens flare apologist?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if I want to get stylish with some photos, yes, sometimes they can be useful, but they can very easily distract from the actual photo.
Okay.
Like when you're taking pictures of the eclipse.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, those were actually problematic.
Yeah, he was all hot and sweaty trying to do it too. All right, everyone. Well, we're gonna do the numbers next, and we'll see how this did in the theaters.
11, 92, 12.
It's rare we do a film that's so recent, so
it is very rare. And the reason why we did this, like I said earlier, was because it had retro Easter eggs. And it fits our channel because we love retro, and maybe if this virtual reality world would ever come into existence, we would be like the cool kids.
Yeah. Sure. That's what we tell ourselves. So this was filmed. This doesn't count all the other production, but filming dates, just at least give people a time frame of when they were working on this, was middle of 2016. But it was released at the beginning of 2018.
Yep.
And you can, you can guess whatever you think for the budget. We'll see if you're closer to the actual budget when it was made, or if you're closer to inflation budget of today.
It's crazy because virtual reality is kind of in its beginning stages on your phone in 2018, like when you would snap your phone into the viewer, right?
Oh yeah. And like Oculus was like still a new thing where you had to connect it to your PC too. Now you can get an Oculus and just wear it around.
Yeah, but us from the 90s kids, we knew what virtual reality was, but you were like you were usually hooked up to like this giant ball, remember? And then they put like a headset on you, and then you would spin around.
You'd be on a stand that had sensors too.
I never got to do that because my parents didn't want to fork over $40 so I could play a game for 5 minutes.
Damn it.
Or you sat at your kitchen table while you played Virtual Boy from Nintendo.
Yeah, or you watched a movie about virtual reality. Was it Johnny Mnemonic or something?
Yeah, that too. Real quick, Jacob is correct. Oh, you already answered it, Beard. Never mind.
We're good. We're answering all the questions.
I know. I saw that earlier, and I meant to. I'm like, after we got through this, I meant to go like, yeah, it pops up at the end. It's cool.
It actually makes a couple of brief appearances before that, but it's featured right then.
Yeah, again, you can watch this movie 100 times. Yeah, Lawnmower Man VR.
Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna guess because there's not. There's not a whole bunch of big names that I can think of. There's probably more than I know because I don't know movie stars. But there's not a lot of big names that stood out to me. There's not a lot of like.
That's what she said.
There's not a lot of live on set photography, given the length of the movie. So most of it's post production, which recently has gotten much more expensive. But I don't think that was necessarily the case then. I want to say like 120 million budget.
Okay.
And I think this did well, but I don't think it had legs. I don't think it like carried on to be like mind blowing. So I'm going to say like maybe 500 million box office.
Gotcha. I'm just glad that we didn't have to do virtual reality Lawnmower Man style, where you were in a gyroscope in a wetsuit.
Let's see here. So you said 120 for the production.
You said 120 and 500.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do 100. And maybe this is more like a 600.
Okay. Only one guess from Aaron. I'm kind of surprised. All the people we've got here, I figured a couple people would be like,
yeah, come on, people.
Yeah.
Throw in some numbers.
Look, they put me on the spot on camera.
They did.
Watch, his head will explode. Well, guess who's making a gif of that?
Kelly says 750 million for the box office. So I'm guessing maybe he's thinking 200 on the production. We've got 85 and 650 million from really old movies. Awesome.
Oh, that'd be a good return. That's pretty close.
Those are all good guesses.
Drum roll.
We'll give 5 more seconds.
While we're giving 5 seconds, I just want to shout out that DeLorean has the Knight Rider 2000 red light on the front.
It does. It does.
love
And
that.
I believe that's in the book. I believe that's in the book. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Budget was 175 million estimated.
Oh, okay.
Which has jumped up to 227 today.
Wow.
And it brought in $607 million in 2018, which would be equal to $756 million today. It did well.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
it did really well.
It was definitely a top 10 film of 2018. It wasn't the number one, but yeah.
But it was I mean, people liked it. It was different, right? Because this was right when, and this is right when Avengers and MCU was kind of at its end, right? This was kind of also when like Pirates was at its end. There was a lot of these like big IPs that were kind of ending, and this one came out of nowhere for people who don't know like this book or the video game world.
I had never heard of the book, but I saw this trailer and I was like, what the hell is that? I want to go watch it.
Yeah, and so like most people were like you, and they went and saw it because it was a very different movie, right? It was almost like Top Gun Maverick, right? It was just like a very different movie that came out kind of at a good time. Yeah. So
no, and it was. I mean, this was a beyond fun film to watch in the theater.
Yeah, I should have seen it in the theater, but you know me and movies.
Yeah, we know.
Your parents don't let you watch them in the theater.
And the cast wasn't like
you watch them.
It didn't. The cast wasn't like a huge cast, to be honest. Oh, really?
I promise we didn't, do the whole Inception thing with you.
Yeah,
I promise.
Well, we picked it about 4 or 5 days ago. So we might have beat you to it. You might have been in our heads going, oh,
yeah.
I mean, there wasn't like a big cast.
No. So a couple of these pictures, I had to double check and make sure. I'm like, is that the actual picture of him? Because Ty Sheridan doesn't look like Ty Sheridan. He looks like what's his name from Superbad and
he kind of looks like the kid from Boy Meets World.
Yeah. What's his name? He was in Juno as well. Superbad, Juno, Arrested Development.
Michael Cera?
Yeah, I was like, is that Michael Cera?
Oh no, Michael Cera still has a baby face, and that's not a Michael
Why
Cera
would you
baby
do
face.
that to that man? Why would you call Ty? Oh my
So I'm like,
gosh.
that doesn't look like him there.
Yeah,
Maybe he
you
needs-
do have
maybe-
you do have Olivia Cook, and then you also have Ben Mendelsohn, which he was in right before this. He was in Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in the last Batman film, Nolan Batman film.
Right. He kind of popped out as well.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal actor, that's for sure.
And then you had T.J. Miller, which I don't know what happened to him. I think he's blacklisted from Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't know, but all I know is as soon as I heard his voice, I go, I know exactly who that is and what he looks like, and I don't know his name.
It's T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was a kind of a big comedian right up until 2019, and then something happened, and then he's gone.
He did some things that and he got Me Too'd, but then he also called in apparently an explosion threat on a train.
Oh, yeah,
Was another
that's
thing that
kind
he
of a
did?
problem.
Okay. Are these true stories, or are you?
No,
making
that's
these
dead serious. But
Amtrak threat incident.
yeah, what's crazy though, like 10 years prior to this, he had brain cancer and successfully had it removed. I want to say he did the Yogi Bear film. It was like right after he did Yogi Bear, he found out he had brain cancer. But it's kind of some of the stuff that he's done. It's always made me wonder. I'm like, is that a cause from, post surgery that they have?
Actually, yeah, I'm looking at this right here, and there's a quote on Wikipedia, as reliable as that can be. We all know. The expert medical analysis and reports regarding the defendant's prior brain surgery and its continued neurological impacts cast doubt upon the requisite legal element, and the charges were dismissed. So it may have just gotten to a point where his health is just where he can't continue to do things.
But I've seen him do stand-up. He's been doing stand-up.
I mean, I think he's doing that, but yeah, he's definitely blacklisted from Hollywood. But no, he is great in this film. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see the real version of him at some point. Like, even at like the very end, I was like hoping when the credits end, we were going to see him like just
and
so upset because he lost everything.
What's funny is his name is IROC, right? In the book, he actually spells it like the IROC Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if it was like the IROC Z's.
Yeah, and I think he actually his car is, if I remember correctly, is that he's very, but he's more of a villain in the book than he is in the movie. He's discussed more in the book, and he impacts more things in the book than he does in this.
Yeah, in this, he's just kind of like a mercenary that's hired for a couple of jobs.
One thing I heard about him in the book, which almost I kind of go like that would have been kind of hilarious in the film too, but is he is not as menacing of a character. He's actually just this giant poser. He's very wealthy, but he's terrible. Like, he's not good at any of the challenges in the OASIS or anything. He
just pays for a lot of stuff.
He pays to win.
He pays to win is really what he does. And he goes to school with Wade. So like I said, they change some things, but yeah, he's funny. I always liked him in this movie. But then you have the other characters in here too. Like I like Leanna Waithy's character. I thought she was always
H.
She was good.
Her name's technically Helen. Yeah, I mean that was really great. They had a great chemistry, her and Wade. And I did have a feeling watching this that H was going to be a girl. There was just something about the character that made me think that. I don't know if you know.
More than anything, to me, it was the voice modulation, which I think they could have done a better job of and made the reveal have more impact. Because the entire time you're hearing the Avatar talk, you're going, okay, this is either a female or a young child.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a style choice that they made or anything or something like that, but I think it would have been a lot better to have a much more distinguished voice, even potentially a separate voice actor entirely. And then once they meet and get back in the game, you can have a line like, we already know what you sound like. You don't need that stupid voice modulator. And then her voice comes through as normal. And then they go, oh, never mind. Go ahead and turn it back on. That's weird. And have a little comedic moment like that.
Well, she did drive around in a truck. She didn't really have a place to live.
Yeah.
No, she lived in her grandma's basement in Detroit.
I don't remember that from the movie.
Yeah, that's where she's from, Detroit.
Detroit would not be existing in this.
It's not that far from Columbus.
Sure. All right, you have some special trivia.
I do. Coming up here. Do you want to play the trivia?
Oh, well, we have multiple trivias, though.
We do, but this one is kind of special.
You want me to play a special clip for the special trivia?
No, if you just want to play the trivia, Mark.
Hey, Phil? Phil? Hey, Phil Connors. Ned?
That's your special clip for the special trivia.
Thank you. As it didn't have me. So Ernest Cline is based the technopreneurs, if I said that right, characters on the following real-life people. Nolan Sorrento is based off of Nolan Bushnell, who founded Atari. Ogden Morrow is based off of Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News.
Mm-hmm.
And then James Halliday is based off of a cross between Howard Hughes and Ultima developer Richard Garriott.
Oh, Garriott. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. That's a good combination.
And if you're not familiar with Ultima, it was a kind of open world game. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
And his quirkiness, Halliday's quirkiness is lines right up there with Howard Hughes's.
Mm-hmm.
And then the relationship of James Halliday and Ogden Morrow is based on Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak.
Yep.
Though I feel like they're a little bit reversed in the sense of Morrow is more of what I feel like would be the Jobs character, and Halliday is more of the Wozniak character, because Jobs was the front man. He was the one who pitched everything. He wasn't the one that designed it, and that's kind of the difference there. But Nolan Sorrento being based off Nolan Bushnell, I thought was really great, just because, you know, for as much as Nolan has contributed to video games, he also nearly killed it because he didn't have any quality control with Atari, and they just started to churn out games and didn't care if they were good or not. And, you know, that's how the video game market crashed.
Yeah.
And I think if he had killed it altogether, he probably would have been viewed as a far bigger villain, but he was definitely somebody always chasing a big gimmick. He he created Showbiz Pizza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Hey, look who showed up. Your friend, Connie.
Thanks for being here.
What's up, fellas? I don't have to read the book version of this, I hope. Just give me the Cliff Notes. Enjoy the Burbs review. All right, cool, man.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I shared that link. Thank you so much. Nope, don't need to read the book to enjoy this. But he wanted to be an Imagineer before, you know, creating Atari. He wanted to go work for Disney, and that's where Showbiz Pizza came from. He was trying to make his own animatronics like at Disney. But
those scary animatronics.
Yeah. But no, I thought that information was very good. I mean, you definitely get the relationship being, you know, somewhat similar of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, though.
And they have their breakup moment.
They do. It's odd though, because it's weird though, because the one guy doesn't want to change anything, and the other guy says, "No, we have to change stuff," and that's why they break up. But it's not like they get mad at each other though. Like, just one guy's disappointed, the other guy's just like aloof to it, and he's like, "Oh well, that's how I feel." It's kind of like a weird.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin in the book, but they do have a falling out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the movie, it does seem a little bit weird, because there's this basically library all about what's his face, Halliday. And he's recorded everything and documented everything, and the Gunters, the egg hunters, go there to like research data, try to figure stuff out. So we see this moment where they kind of start having their falling out, and it is awkward. I kind of got the feeling that Halliday must have had just like a little bit more controlling percentage in the company. And so that's how you could force him out. Because if they were truly equal partners, it would have just been, here's paperwork, sign it and leave.
Well, or it was just the fact that he wouldn't budge on it. And so since he couldn't make him budge or kind of try and, get him to think about it more, he's just like, I'm done. I mean, that was kind of like the other.
Yeah.
And Morrow's more in the book. They have a whole like, they just expand upon these characters more in the book. And more of them show up throughout the book. But yeah, it's that typical, we made this together, so we're having differences and we have to split up type of story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we brought Beard in. When me and JT get in a stalemate, we make Beard pick and vote.
Yes.
Here's a better close up of everybody, the characters, and then their avatars.
I thought the CG character in these movies were really well done, even with the groups of them.
There wasn't too much uncanny valley. There still was some, because especially like with Artemis's avatar, it's very stylized, so it's almost human but not quite. It was much more believable with like H or Sorrento's avatar.
Yeah,
because,
but
like,
it was
he looked like he was made of plastic and such like that. But
right,
it still all looked really good.
Yeah, but I think it was done that way because you could be whatever you want to be in this movie. If you want to look plastic looking,
it makes sense. It's just that you always risk tripping into that uncanny valley a little bit when you can't go full human realistic. But I think they still did a good job. It's not too distracting. There's only a couple instances,
like when they first showed him putting on the visor, right, and they kind of zoomed into his eyeball and then like showed it. That was kind of funky, but this, I think the way the designers got away with it, they were so allowed to do whatever they kind of felt like because it was that type of movie.
Well, and then I think the other thing too is these guys are all unique avatars to distinguish them, because if they made them like, hey, one guy's going to be Batman, you're going to be like, well, why is this person Batman? There's Batman in this movie. But the characters around them that are Easter eggs too also looked great though. Like when you
like the guy from Mortal Kombat with the 4 arms. I don't
Gordo. But like when you like the group of like Spartans from Halo series, like them walk around. There was guys, there was like people who wanted to be Battletoads and Ninja Turtles.
I saw the Battletoads.
Those were always really great. Even too, like we get to see Joker, Harley Quinn, avatars. That was really fun. But here's Morrow and Halliday, their avatars. Which in the book too, right? Isn't
he's
Morrow's
a wizard?
Morrow's avatar is a different than in the movie, right?
It is, but Holidays is a wizard. But I don't remember what Morrow's was, but he wasn't like the guy that like led the library.
Wasn't
I mean, I don't mind it for this because it kind of, I don't know, like I said, I haven't read the book. And they have to sacrifice a bunch to fit it into. I mean, this was already like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I think that was a nice way to fit his character back into kind of like overseeing his former friends that he missed legacy in trying to make sure that it ended up in the right hands. That kind of that led itself a nice little bit of heart to the story.
Yeah, and to go back to your thing about why he left, I kind of looked it up. In the book, Morrow leaves because he feels GSS is no longer a video game company and that the OASIS causes humanity to run from its problems. And that's kind of what Halliday was doing in this entire movie. He wanted his own little reality. In the beginning, he just wanted his own reality so he can not be in his own. You get to see that because throughout this whole movie you see how he's just kind of treated as the weirdo, and he doesn't have like a lot of friends at the end there. So
I was gonna say, and the sad thing too is though, when you do see them interacting in the past, Morrow is always trying to uplift James.
he is,
and
they both did have the crush on Kira. By the way, that
Yeah.
thing did happen in the book, and I think that's one of the reasons why they had a falling out too, was because of that triangle.
Yeah.
So.
But and even with that, I mean, just he was encouraging his friend to make a move, and
I know, date this girl, you like her, go.
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
her.
But I mean,
let me just say that I like that, because as somebody who doesn't really like to get out there and socialize and talk to people, having guys like you and Aaron, who's was in the chat, like basically tell me you should do this, and they push me kind of outside of my comfort zone. I like that.
Are you saying you're Halliday?
Oh, I'm not that far gone. I'm not that far gone. I get out and touch grass. I kill it with a lawnmower. But
yeah, you do.
But no, I kind of get that, because I'm like one of those extroverted introverts. It takes a push to get me out there to do something. So I appreciate having people do that, but it's also incredibly uncomfortable and frustrating at times.
Okay, that's another clip I got to make there. I kill the grass.
Here's some more villains of the movie, but yeah,
I love Irok's design.
Irok's design was very cool. But no, Kira is the love interest of the two, and she's not mentioned most in this movie, but in the book she's talked about a lot, because that is a riff that they have through it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a cool scene. This is at the end, but those two characters, it's like they're perfect, right? Those are the perfect avatars.
Yeah. Like I said,
they're both so over the top. I mean, Irok exactly looks like what you'd expect some dude who spent all his money to get all the best gear and didn't actually work for it would look like.
I know.
Well, in the movie though, he's a lot more formidable. Of a character, but just he looks great. But like I said, I wish we could have seen what his real life character looked like.
It was probably TJ, just him.
But I mean, or like him in like a fat suit.
It's the South Park Warcraft guy. He's got the wrist brace on and he's leaning back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate they didn't go that route, because there were some instances in this movie with that it seemed to cross the line between a tribute and it would dip its toe into people who didn't really understand gaming, throwing in cringe one-liners, and it almost felt like they were making fun of it. But then they go back to the love of the time period in video games, so the tone shifted occasionally.
I was waiting though for a moment for somebody to stick their hand through Irok and like either grab something or hand something off. Through like
stick it from his back and go high five.
Yeah. I'm just like, I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
No, here's and I have some more pictures coming up, but the battle on Planet Doom at the end, the final act, where he gets essentially all the independent Gunters to come and battle the evil IOI corporation that's ran by,
and they're all trying to win. Well, the other Gunters, they know they're not going to win the company. They want either Artemis or Percival to win, so they're helping them out.
Percival's basically said, like, this IOI is going to take over and they're going to do all this other stuff. It's kind of like these days when you have a game you're playing and they're about to put up an update with like new ads and integrated stuff.
Yeah, they say that. They do that in the
stuff
movie.
Like that, and then people get like pissed off.
Loot boxes.
This is like what we wish we could do, which is like rally everybody together to just like fight for it. And this is not a small thing for these people to commit to. I should point out, because they invest so much of their time and their lives in this, and
money.
Planet Doom, if you die, you lose everything associated with that account. And so for them to show up and do this, it seems ridiculous, but in their reality, in their world, this is a committing to a battle that could change their life.
Yeah, and there's a scene there that kind of I'm not gonna ruin it if you haven't seen it because it is a pretty recent movie, but there's a pretty cool scene at the end there where like how they overthrow the evil Iowa Empire.
I was gonna say what's funny is the evil IOI Corporation 2 also makes like all the accessories though that everybody uses. There's the carbon fiber bodysuit that Wade wears.
Yeah, and they mentioned that in the book.
Inlay, yeah, and the gloves. But
hey, Biggles, this
so
movie compared to the book sucks. But the sequel book is so bad. I'd rather see it based off these versions of characters. I never watched it. I never read the second book. But I mean, I don't know if the movie.
But
that's a little
too,
harsh.
Like talking about Nolan Sorrento's like when we win the the contest, he's like we'll be able to put all the ads we want on anybody's screen. They're like we can put up to 80% ads without inducing seizures. We call it Pure O2.
Yeah,
it is. It's like all but like this amount that you can see. But it's like pop-ups though today. It's like if you've ever gone to a website and like 80 pop-ups just spring up.
Well, I can't remember if it was before or after this movie. It probably was about the same time where somebody put out like a real short film of like what the future would look like in augmented reality. And it's just like a first-person perspective of somebody like walking down the street to get back to the bus stop, and they put their augmented reality goggles on, and suddenly everything is covered in ads that aren't actually there. In reality.
Very weird.
Not surprising. What's kind of funny though is I look at this picture too, and I can't help but see Cyclops there too, with the visor.
And the two robots. They're actually three big robots in the movie that they fight. There's Iron Giant, Gundam, and then Mechagodzilla. And then in the book, there's different robots. There's a Gundam, but there's some other. There's like a villain from like some Japanese anime, but I don't want to ruin the book, but there are some other bigger, different robots that they pull out. But they went to the robots people would recognize who would see this movie, like Rick. Bickle says also this movie basically skips the beginning of the book, and that is really the best part where Wade doesn't seem to be as big as a douche. Thanks. Biggles, we kind of already talked about some of that stuff, but thanks for sharing. That's awesome. And he did say, there are 3 other Gundams in the book. That's right. So here's your look at that Spawn guy right there. That's cool. Joker.
Is that Rocket Raccoon next to Tracer?
Yes, I believe so.
Watch out, Jacob. He's looking at you.
There's Chung-Li, Halo, but the movie's fun like this. Even if you didn't read the book, the movie I think is still fun. You get a kick out of it.
The Chucky part is great.
There's a Chucky scene, and
guy drops the F-bomb.
This is the scene where you can like spend a whole day just pausing and searching for Easter eggs.
Ninja Turtles there, and
I will admit, going into this, I had like moments of like this is great versus like the cynical moments like modern Hollywood has turned me into, where I just like old man cross my arms and go, this entire movie is just key jangling. It's not really a good movie. But then like the Gundam jumps out and I go, it's like, oh, look at this Gundam. So it's like I have to like put myself. I need to watch it again because I need to put myself in that frame of mind where I'm not this cynical old man.
But this is very much though like as like a kid when you would get all of your action figures out and battle them, and like that's where
it hits home for us young at heart, and that's why we wanted to review this movie, because it has so much retro Easter eggs in it that you would have fun watching this movie, just remembering all those things. But the Chucky scene is great when it just like slices everybody up.
Because it's Parzival and Artemis in the DeLorean, and they keep running out of weapons, the ammo. They running out of the weapons that they've had tied to their count. So people are just tossing things to them. Here's a railgun. Here's this, that, the other. And somebody says, "Here, try this," and tosses a Chucky doll in there. Parzival catches it. And he's driving, and Chucky's going. Ha, 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 ha.
Well, the best part too is when he throws it out at the bad guys, the Sixers. and Chucky's just bouncing around, slaughtering them all. But then you get a view of what's going on inside the IOI facility,
Yeah.
and you just see everybody like dying, like
Yeah, they're freaking out. Yeah, they do
Yeah.
that. They did that quite a few times when they show like the whole group dying, especially when like a nice swipe of them gets hit by a truck or something.
Yeah. And then too, like I'm like, I think it was just there as like an Easter egg. There was no kind of significance, but like when they finally take down Mechagodzilla, she shoots out one of the eyes and she throws a mad ball in there. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
The mummy mad ball. Like I remember just immediately like, oh my god, it's a mad ball.
Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of fun moments like this, especially if you're into
and
pop culture like this.
I guess we didn't really mention at the beginning that when this game was created, he had such a love of that time period, and it really only, at least from what I got, became really important at that time period to the Gunters because they spent so much time researching it, almost like religiously. And so that kind of became
they knew a
part
lot.
of
They
their
knew a lot
life.
about the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what's also funny too is the IOI has their own. They've got essentially their grunts that go in and do the heavy lifting, but then they've got their group of people who do all the research.
Yeah, that was fun seeing that too. Yeah,
and there's a moment where Sorrento, right? He's trying to bribe Wade and entice him to join IOI
because Wade's like one of the smartest in the entire world, where he knows a lot about Holiday and the 80s
and he tries to trick him, and then you see like the guy he's like no, that's Shermer, Illinois.
So and there's a lot of funny stuff like that, and then and this just popped into my head. Did you get a kick out of, because I'm not going to say it's kind of funny, the password for the bad guy, that's like a password you would use, Rick.
Why do you say that's something I would use?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he would be smart enough not just to leave it out on a sticky note and then
Boss
claim
man
later on
69.
that people hacked me. No, they didn't hack you. Seeing your password is not hacking you. Ugh.
I think that's in the
Yeah,
book too.
I would never leave the sticky note there. It's underneath Beard's hat.
He always calls him for his password, by the way. No, it's a great movie. It's fun. It's got a lot of fun stuff in it, and I highly recommend like watching it and then going back and watching it for the Easter eggs. I think you'll get a kick out of it. This is a cool rendition of that too.
Shout out to the Spike Spiegel's ship Swordfish up there at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like though that this person put in the original Ninja Turtles.
There's Batman. There's Beetlejuice in there.
I know. Tomb Raider.
There's Bill and Ted.
Spider-Man. No, this one is super fun.
I mean, that's exactly what this world
and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, this world is really like that. It's pretty neat. And you have more fun facts, right?
I do have some more fun.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
I'm enjoyed the last one, so we'll see.
I kept it pretty minimal with the facts here because there's so many, and I almost feel like it could be ruining of the film. But Steven Spielberg did say that this was the third most difficult film of his career, behind Jaws and Saving Private Ryan. Which I don't know. I feel like I could definitely see that just because of the world that had to be created for this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and also just the massive amount of motion capture they'd have to do, and then process, and then render, and then match up animation. It's a whole different type of difficult, but yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, majority of this film was filmed in the UK at Pinewood Studios. Those are massive. I'm trying to think of the word. Lot sets that they can create. So, I mean, it's definitely kind of the perfect place for them to have made a film like this. But yeah, a lot of work went into it with the motion capture for sure. Near the 35-minute mark, Halliday shown on the cover of Wired magazine. There's a QR code that is readable and will link to an article on Halliday.
Nice.
From the
Thought
July
about scanning that.
2018 issue. So yeah, that is a working QR code. So as long as you have a high resolution image of it, you can go read the article. I have not done so yet, but I thought that was a very fun fact. Despite being part of the high five, Wade Watts and his avatar, Parzival, are never able to complete a high five. They are always left hanging.
Nice.
Which is very true. I did notice that. I'm like, he's like Tom Brady. Nobody wants to give him a high five.
Right. And Biggles, to answer your question, we did mention why most of the Spielberg stuff wasn't in the movie that was in the book. He did that himself. Spielberg decided to leave out.
He didn't want to come off as being pretentious that he was making, his best
didn't want
of
to come
moments,
off as
I guess.
being more pretentious than he already is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cynicism is showing again.
You're old man.
You are.
Do we need to bring that dog out again?
Don't you do it.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not on this channel.
It's not?
No. Alrighty. Next trivia.
And then again, there's so many. I could have named all sorts of things, but I just left it to what you might see in the race scenes. For vehicles, Bigfoot monster truck, the DeLorean time machine, which H drives the monster truck, and Parzival drives the time machine.
Yeah.
Artemis is on the motorcycle from Akira. You also see Speed Racers Mach 5, the 1966 Batmobile, the AT GMC van, Mad Max's V8 Interceptor, Christine the Killer Car, Jack Burton's Pork Chop Express, the Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit, and finally Lone Star and Barf's RV from Spaceballs.
So to lead into your question you made earlier, like what avatar you would be, what car would you use?
Well, I never said what avatar I would be.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Why didn't you?
Because I didn't get the chance to. We skipped over it, and I just let it go.
So you do this, and you need to say something, because now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. It's fine. It was just conversation was going. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Now you have the opportunity.
I would be the thing.
Okay, you'd be the thing. Grimm. Okay, be Ben Grimm, and what would your car be?
I don't know if I could fit into it, but I would want to drive the Pork Chop Express.
Well, you would fit into it. It's your own reality.
I know. I'm just saying.
The Pork Chop. Okay, Beard. What would you be?
For my vehicle, because I already said I'd be custom or Spike Spiegel. And I figured for theming, I would have to either fly his ship, the Swordfish, but if I can't choose a flying vehicle, Kit, Knight Industries 2000.
All right. And we all know who I would be. I would be Captain America, but I would be in the Miami Vice white Lamborghini. Ferrari. Sorry. Jeez Louise. See, I was thinking something, and then you told me that you didn't get to pick your thing, and I'm all messed up.
Did I ever tell you about the day that Steve Martin died?
Steve Martin's not dead, Mike.
I know.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's what I got for trivia. So,
okay, so let's do our final thoughts on the movie, and this is when we enter our review on criticalist.com.
Yes.
And we're going to do that again tonight. And everyone, if you don't know what criticalist.com is, it is a really cool review site created and managed by a friend of the channel. And you might see them also on Salty Nerd. There's a couple other people out there that review this, do the reviews here. We are also on there, the channel is, and we like to submit our reviews. And again, that's at criticalist.com. You can get the app or you can go on the browser, and it's actually really cool. So we're going to rate this movie like we always do for our final thoughts. So I'm guessing it's somewhere up here in the rad or the excellent. Where would you like this to be?
It is definitely a high rad or a low most excellent. That's for sure. Beard, what do you think?
I think y'all are probably going to trend higher than me on this. I enjoyed it, but there was a lot in there that I just kind of thought felt short. So I would probably go like 65% if it was just me. So we're probably going to average out closer to high rad and probably high 70s.
All right, so we're gonna go right there. Rad,
Okay.
78%.
I mean,
I would
didn't
agree with
hate
Rick.
the movie. I just, I don't know if it stood out. Like I said, I need to watch it again.
It's
and
not a
that might
great
change my
movie.
opinion.
It's a fun movie, and I think
Yeah.
the
It's
reason
definitely like
if
a
it-
popcorn. Just have
if it
fun.
didn't have the Easter eggs and it was just kind of like this made up virtual world of like things we didn't know of, like Lawnmower Man, I don't think I would like it as much. So yeah, there isn't a whole lot of graphic language.
I was gonna say I would have laughed if Beard said like his avatar would have been Forrest Gump and he would have been on the riding mower.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride.
Nah, see, it would be, was it Waterboy where he rides a lawnmower and they supercharge it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd choose that one.
There's a moderate amount of violence just because of the chase scenes and the fighting in there. Chucky.
I was gonna say that's where I would
no
put.
blood, though.
I would put graphic language at a bit more. I'd put it right in the middle.
Okay, and then we have there isn't really any nudity in it.
No, I would say a bit.
A bit. There's some.
They're suggested, and apparently the old woman in the hotel was played by a dude.
Okay,
And it's
well
his
there
only
are
role listed
scenes
on IMDb.
There are scenes in it, like when they recreate the scene from The Shining.
Well, it's a motion cap, so
the lady in the bathtub that was from The Shining.
I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah,
and then then you had the thing where they're dancing and she kind of like caresses him in the crotch. That's about. By the way, that dance scene in the book, that's just like some random event that they went to in the movie. In the book, they're actually attending Morrow's 78th birthday. And they actually see him there, and he says hi to them because they're on the leaderboard at that time. I would say it's a very family friendly. I think families would have fun watching this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you want to add anything to this, Rick? I said Chucky.
Chucky. I don't think we can say just Chucky. I would say Chucky and carbon fiber crotch inlay.
I'm not going to write that live. You can write that in later. All right, there you go. We're going to submit it. I'll put in the YouTube video later, but there you go. We're all set. There you go. Rad. Ready Player One.
Yep.
Again, you can go to critical.com to do the same thing if you want to put in your review. If you haven't made an account yet, I highly recommend you do. I think it's great. Look at Beard. It's already doing it. Look at that.
Free to do, way better than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a kind of a grassroots origin too. So it's mostly creators and like a lot of smaller creators, people who have kind of a vested interest in it that aren't being paid off to give positive reviews so that they can continue to be paid off to give positive reviews.
No paid shills. There could be some people that are personally shilling for movies that they just love.
Yeah.
Like us.
But it is great even just to go there to see the ratings, because as you saw, we put all these details in. And so what you will just see when you look at it, you'll just see kind of our rating. But if you click on it, then you'll get all the details and things like that. So that's a good way for like parents to go through and see if things might be good for their kids. It'll also show you where you can watch it on streaming. So it's pretty great.
You know, it is. I was gonna say it's funny. I was talking to Blaine like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, it'd be so neat if you guys had like an Oculus like app and it was like walking into an old video store where you could go pick up a movie off the shelf and then you could look through the reviews.
Are you going to donate some money for that? I mean,
I wish I could. If I could fund that, I would. But
so the real cool thing about Criticalist 2 is if you want to go back to check out our review, we also post our YouTube video in there, so you can check our actual review there as well. So it is a fun site. I recommend it, and check it out. All right, so we rated it as rad. Those are our final thoughts. Now, speaking of Avatar, or not Avatar. Yeah, speaking of virtual reality and avatars, do you think like this? What's the percentage of this will happen in the near future for our world? This what took place in 2044, so it's 20 years from now. Do you feel like this is? I mean, because we said it earlier. Demolition Man has kind of predicted some things.
Yeah.
Terminator has.
There was a little bit in my brain the entire time I'm watching it, thinking that this story is just like 2 degrees off from becoming a dystopian Black Mirror episode.
I'm
glad it didn't.
I mean, it is very tough to not feel like some of this may be true in the future, in the sense of we have technology companies and social media companies that are pushing this virtual escape.
Yeah, and I think one person has already tried to do that, and that's the wonderful guy over there at Facebook with Meta, right? He tried to do this.
I do this. This is not a spoiler as to the conclusion of the film, although it is technically one of the last lines in it. I do like the fact that, I don't know if it's this way in the book, that they try to balance it out in the end by shutting down the Oasis every Tuesday and Thursday, which, if you think about it, that's bad for business. And it was an unpopular decision in that universe, but they actually want people to, go outside and touch grass.
Yeah,
and
I don't remember if that happens in the
fight
book.
Ninjas.
But there is a moment in the book. There's parts in the book where they're like, maybe we should rein it back a bit. But again, in the book, they just kind of the human race just kind of gave up. They're like, we're tired of fixing everything.
We got no more corn syrup.
We don't want to fix anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
You could see that today. Everyone's trying to fix a problem. These people are burnt out of fixing problems. They just want to have fun. They just want to do whatever they want to feel like doing and move on.
I was going to say there's people who are trying to fix problems, but there's a lot of people out there who just want to escape. And
that's how it came to this. Yeah, it took generations to come to why people wanted to fight back. But I bet you in the beginning though, this was like everyone's like, great, I don't have to think about mowing my grass.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, it's right, like they say, like easy times create soft men, hard times create good men. That's kind of what happens. I was gonna say though, Beard, did bring up a good point. I mean, shutting it down. If anything, I would say you would have where like somebody's account is going to be locked out for 2 days. You get to pick the 2 days.
Yeah.
And you can kind of do that with your kids, right? But as adults, you really can't do that today. You can do it yourself.
Self-moderation is
yeah.
You have to have your phone tell you to do it, but then you can ignore it. So again, great movie. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend you watch it. And like Biggles said, it is a good book. It is one of those books you should read as well. You might end up not liking the movie, but hopefully you don't. But you could do both, and I think you'll have a good time with it. See the movie
first, then read the book. That's usually the safe bet.
Safe bet. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's a fun one. It is really a fun movie. I do recommend it. So what do we? I'm not sure what we're doing next. It might be one of those weeks where we just pick a random movie. Well, maybe it's Beard's pick. This next week.
I think I've got the week after.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think technically it's my pick next, but I mean, Beard could pick next. I don't care. But if he's picking next, then I got to pick a different movie, because what I did have picked, I figured it would be all three of us would be good.
Okay. Yeah, because
no, go ahead, go with what you got.
Well, I was gonna
realized
say
that I had to choose something this month before we went live, so I've forgotten about that.
Yeah. Okay, well then I was gonna say, since we didn't plan this well, but since we just had an eclipse, I'd like us to review Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay. All right. We can make that happen. That'll be next Monday, and I believe we might have a Weekend Harder this weekend. I don't remember, but we'll let you know in the community. We'll let you know on Twitter. We'll let you know on the community notes and that sort of thing if we are going live. And then on my channel over there at Late Night with Cap, Wednesday, I have a premiere of a video where me and Jason Sandberg, a good friend of mine, we discuss about a guy who supposedly traveled, not with virtual reality, but he actually traveled to the year 1966 for just a few hours. So I recommend you checking out that video. And then Beard, where are you going? What channel are you going to be on?
Yeah, Troy
Tuesday?
Actually, I'm not going to be Jacob's got Amadeus on Tuesday, and that filled up real quick, so I won't be on that one. We're going to try something out. I might be behind the scenes and like to help like highlight comments and things like that. So I might technically be there, so people might be able to find me in the chat, just not on camera.
Wait, the regular on Jacob's show got kicked off?
I'm a frequent. I
don't think he even has Mando on there either. He's got like all his regulars off.
Like once he put his schedule up and Amadeus was there, like the first 4 replies were Amadeus.
Everybody was like, "Ooh, rock me, Amadeus."
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually don't have much going this week because I think I'm also Roman's been putting off his heavy metal after 2000s heavy metal stream, and that's not really a genre of music I have anything, so I'm passing on that one. So it's kind of going to be a light week for me. I might show up on Wednesday for Beelzebub with Devil Made Me Do It. I have kind of an open invitation there. Once I see what they're chatting about, I might hop in there. But other than that, Weekend Harder, because I think we're scheduled for one this week.
Okay. All righty. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. This has been a great review of Ready Player One, and it's been great hanging out with all of you again. And we're going to say have a good week. And we'll see you later. Wait.
Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the Palace, backflip gainer into the trash.
This is it. Man, big stuff. Just relax and have fun. Just gonna have fun with it.
Talking away, I don't know what to say. I'll say it anyway.
I'm lucky.
Today's another